September means back to school and back to session. With me today, Will Crocker, representative for the town of Barnstable and other areas of Cape Cod. You're back up on Beacon Hill pretty quickly here.
Yeah, the House and the Senate generally take August off because it's considered the time for when most people take vacation. So not a lot of activity happens during the month of August.
So, but things ramp up really, really quickly in September, and just news this past week is the governor is signing a supplemental budget.
Well, he's offering up a supplemental budget.
Okay.
I mean, that process begins. He's filing the bill for a supplemental budget. Not exactly sure how much is going to be involved in the budget, but what we do know is that there's going to be about anywhere between $25 and $28 million with regard to PFAS, and I know that about $8 million of it is going to be for testing for possible PFAS contamination, and another $20 million approximately is going to be in the form of grants and loans for existing PFAS projects. So I mean, that's right up the town of Barnstable's alley. And we've had contamination in a number of wells here. So if this, when it makes it through the legislative process, which it will, hopefully the town of Barnstable will be able to avail themselves of some of that money.
All right. So I'm a little confused. Maybe some of our viewers are too. So you passed a budget. The budget got signed, but
Right.
now there's a bill to put something into the budget that's already been signed. How does that work?
Well, it's an addition. It's an
Okay.
addition. It's a supplemental budget. It's for things that, for the most part, are not necessarily unforeseen problems.
Okay.
And the PFAS contamination is a problem that unfortunately seems to be growing in a lot of areas. The town of Barnstable, obviously, it's a problem here, but there are other communities across the state that are also having that problem.
Right. And you're going to be testifying soon here, too, on the H97 bill.
House 97 is a bill that I refiled. I filed it 2 years ago along with Representative Whalen. Refiled it again this session. What this has to do with children who are involved in domestic violence incidents. Now, as it stands now, there was a bill that was passed before I became state representative back in 2016 that had an unintended consequence. And as it stands now, the law does not allow police departments to report information that they have regarding children involved in domestic violence incidents up to the Department of Children and Families. This will fix that. It's just a small corrective piece of language that allows police departments to report information that they have regarding kids who are involved in domestic violence incidents up to DCF.
Right. And as it is right now, DCF can ask for the information,
Right.
but the police departments can't actually send them that information unsolicited. Did I get that right?
Yeah, it can come down, but it can't go up right now.
Right.
They can ask for it, and the police departments can provide it, but the police departments can't on their own send that information up the chain.
Right. So in the process of lawmaking in Beacon Hill, do you run across some of these things that get passed and a year or two into it, it seems like you have to tweak it a little bit?
It happens a lot. It does happen a lot. There are unintended consequences, and there are X number of bills that over a certain length of time, like, great idea, but someone finds a problem that wasn't intended. A circumstance pops up, and oh yeah, you can't do it that way.
Right.
And so we have to go back and fix it. And this is one of those situations where a simple change in language, we're going to add a phrase that's not going to change the intent of the bill for the most part. I mean, the idea is to be able to protect kids involved in domestic violence incidents, to get them away from that situation and make sure they're in a safe environment. But it's just one of those things that just wasn't thought about at the time.
Right. So what does September really entail for a representative getting back into the swing of lawmaking and those types of things? Are there other duties in September and October that your constituents should be aware of?
It's just mostly amping up after taking the month of August off. Our committees are starting up again, hearings are starting up again, and You know, it's just, we run now right up into the Christmas break.
Great. And would you remind viewers of your office hours?
I have office hours on the first Friday of every month from noontime to 1:30 at Barnstable Town Hall, up 4th floor in the conference room up there.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
You bet. Thank you.